Hey. Welcome back to Toasting Your Art. Welcome, guys. Today, we have a lot of submissions. There's already 1,000 unread messages in my inbox, and I've opened like many pages worth of these, and there's still 1,000 unopened ones, so I'm just gonna try to get through as many as I can in this episode. Once again, perhaps I should change my theme again to fit the toasty theme of the episode. Pipes, chests, jellyfish, or wait, I can do my own ones too, right? Maybe something like this. I'm gonna use this picture with the minion Tic Tacs. Alright, now we are in very serious critiquing mood. Let's get started. Spicy art by Emma de Klerk. Thanks a lot for this opportunity. Even if this won't be included in the video, I'm 18 and I would like some constructive criticism on the composition and use of color in this piece. Cool, let's check out what we are dealing with. It's a cool picture of some dog dragon inside clouds. It's sick. So I feel like this is supposed to be large and grand, but you've cramped this big creature into this tight space here. I would open up the composition a bit more. I would show the size of it. I'm assuming it's very large. I'm gonna steal this picture real quick. So here we can see that the creature's head is pushed to the side of the composition, which is kind of odd in my opinion. The focal point here appears to be this area here, these flames and stuff, but you should look at the head first and then the flames. So first thing I would do is I would just stretch out the composition a bit more. You can see the rule of thirds grid on the crop preview here. The most attention grabbing area where people usually subconsciously look first is this upper left cross here. So I'd perhaps place the head over there, and now I'm gonna use one of these cloud brushes, really high-tech stuff, to suggest clouds or smoke or something very quickly, doing a bit of vignetting here. So since this is clouds, you have a lot of freedom with what kind of colors you can use, and you can shape it and mold it in any way you want, so you should use that to your advantage. I'm also trying to suggest a bit of motion here. There already is a bit of motion in the original with the way these flames are going from left to right, so I'm just pushing that a bit more in these clouds here. I don't know, something like this to start the things off feels a bit more grand and epic now, I think, when you compare it to this. My shading skills are shady by genuinely terrible. I need advice in shading. I know my anatomy is terrible, especially hair. Any tips are appreciated though. I edited the image because I couldn't get enough contrast with my pencil. Original included. Alright, let's see the original then. I mean, forget about the shading. It looks like their eyes are about to pop out of their face because you didn't draw eyelids. It looks like they are making their eyes as big as they possibly can. If you want to do a scene with such high contrast, there's a single light source. You need to use a pencil that allows you to go darker than that. Make most of the image dark and the areas that are facing the light source light. You just need to look up a stock photo of people in candlelight and use that as reference. Dumb art by Dude Bro. I did this monster dude and I want to get better at digital painting. 15 years old. I mean, you did good with the lighting. I like the lighting and stuff. I like how you understand which parts are supposed to be lit by the green here. That's good. Nice work. However, I would just grab this whole picture, decrease the brightness, and pump up the contrast. This way it seems like it's really dark and stuff. And then maybe add in a secondary light source from the other side here to bring out the form of the body. That's another good way of making a character stand out against the background. Quick ass rim light from the other side brings out the furriness and the form of the character a little bit better. Extend that to the background a bit too. I would also make just a few extra bright spots to really sell the effect. So this was the OG and this is the not OG. It's overall too bright. The creature blends into the background a bit too much. Bring in some contrast. Criticize anything L by Jordan Verge. Hello, I'm 17 and this is my most recent image that I've created. I will take any kind of criticism. I really want to improve myself as an artist. Okay, kind of the same stuff here. The colors are all too much the same. You know, there's a bunch of these purple edges here, sort of a vignette effect. Instead of doing it this way, I would put the pink spot behind her and make the corners dark. That way these shapes would all come out very nicely. Ivory Rasmus Rain Can Man Toasted by Spoder. No text. It sucks. The focal point of this image is a blank white space. Roasted. Boy, I will give you the best colors ever by Sana Ahonen. I feel sad. Be free to roast my art. It makes me feel better about myself when I can beat myself up. Well, we are off to a great introduction. 18 years old, what can I do better with my perspective? Your Finnish neighbor, I'm coming after those drinks. Wow, that's a nice Finnish Estonian inside meme. Great and cool. All right, let's check out what we have. First thing I see is nothing. It's too unreadable. Also, the composition is weird. Why is his head so up towards the end of the paper? The horse looks kind of small. It's a mess, basically. So your problem is that it's all so contrasty everywhere. There's no clear focal point in this picture, and it's also made worse by the very awkward composition. So first things first, I would maybe condense the colors of the background a bit. I would make them a bit more monochrome. This is supposed to be like a sad moment or something, so let's just make everything sort of grayish. And let's keep the darks for the characters so that it becomes clear that it's supposed to stand out. This is a very detailed image. It's very hard to fix it like this. It's also traditional, so I can't really paint it over, but maybe this will give you an idea of what to go for. Just try to put some more clear forms and colors into place. Reserve the bigger contrast for the main focal points. Help me. By Sarah Korhonen. Is this by the same person? Oh, it's not. It's a very similar name. Hi, Shell. I saw your video on posting people's work and I really want some help with this drawing. I'm 20, been drawing for 5-ish years, but during that last year I've been trying to improve more consciously and I'm kind of stuck with this one. I feel like the face is okay. This was my first proper attempt at drawing hair and clothing though. Any tips on how to improve those? Also, I feel like there's so much color missing, though the clothes are supposed to be black/dark gray. It feels like it kind of just makes the whole piece look a bit soulless and flat. What's up with so many people sending me art of characters with no irises? If you want to do dark clothing like this, I would suggest use some sort of color for the shadows and some other color for the highlights. Just pick a color for the light source and use that, because if you use like pure gray tones in your piece, it's bound to look soulless and off, because there is nothing that is pure gray in real life. Roast me to nothing but ash, holding a tablet bin by Christy Brand. What up, my man? My name is Christy. I'm 19 from New York and I'm an illustration student. I've been a Challagundler for a while. Lol. It'd be awesome if you could roast my art as harshly as possible. My professors aren't really familiar with modern artistic trends and styles, so their critique for my art is usually something along the classic "it's too anime" line. Oh, that must be painful. A honest critique from a more culturally adept person who can articulate past the word anime would be greatly appreciated. The piece of art I'd like roasted doesn't currently reflect my skills in anatomy. Yes, I know the forearms are long, and in the process I did not flip the image to check for facial flaws. It's a nice Yu-Gi-Oh! OC, I like that. I don't know, maybe the head is a bit too large, or I mean too long for my taste, but that's probably just your style, as they say. Anyway, I don't really know the story behind this image, but I'm going to say that it's like one of those battle scenes in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they draw the cards or something and it's really intense. I'm just gonna base my critique off of that because I feel like this piece is lacking some energy that it needs to have. If you wanna give energy to a sort of a still pose like this, there's a couple of things you can do. I'm going to demonstrate what I would personally originally do with this. I wouldn't cramp this into a square, I would make this a bit wider so there's more room for flowy lines and stuff. I would build the character up on a little bit more of an intense gesture line, maybe something diagonal. I'm gonna start with collarbones, lol, because everybody loves collarbones. What we need here is fast looking shapes, edgy lines. Basically, I just wanna use a lot of lines that follow a similar direction. Now it is time for the hair. I see what you did with the hair. It conveys some movement and motion in this picture. You can really use a stylized hair like this to your advantage to point towards the cards or something. You can really play around with the shape of it to make it work for the scene. Make some parts of it large, some parts of it narrow. You can really play around with the shapes. Obviously my sketch looks like ass, but that's because I did it in 5 minutes. Now the background, right, you use these blob sort of things, make them all follow one direction for that spice, that speed. So yeah, that's what I think. Also, I can't really understand the lighting in the original. It seems to be coming from below as suggested by the face and the hair here, but then here it's coming from above. Here it's also coming from above. Maybe keep that a little bit more uniform and also a bit more high contrast. That will also add intensity to a scenario like this. I'm gonna try to do a bottom light here real quick, just a very quick one. You can also use the same line directions in the shadows and stuff to really sell the effect. So basically, to sum it all up, the trick here was to have a main direction of lines, which is this way, and then a contrast to that, which cuts through it like this on this card, and that really brings it out. I'm gonna do a quick color because I enjoyed drawing this anime pic. All right, there it is. Kind of bad, but you understand what I mean. If you were to spend a bit more time thinking about how to make these shapes reinforce each other in interesting ways, then you can make sort of still scenes like this look intense and stuff. Please roast me, I am in need of it, by Karma. Besides the tragedy of me trying to follow a burn scar tutorial for light skin colors, could you just roast it? I am 13 years old, by the way. Yeah, it shows. This could use some correction of some basic common anatomy mistakes, like the eye is too wide for side view and too close to the front here. It should move to the back a bit. Perhaps make the hood stick out a bit more. It looks like it's glued to the surface of the hoodie. You didn't overdo the clothing folds. You did those nicely. I like that. A lot of beginners tend to make some weird as non-sense making clothing fold. Yes, I used that word that I made up once again. Please, oh please roast me. I am currently 15 and I want to get some honest critique about the character. So please, Chella, tell me your tips. Okay, is this a character or what is it? I legitimately have zero idea of what I'm looking at. What is this? Roasted. Help, different piece. It's me again. I need help. I know how to draw people and design characters, but backgrounds, ha yeet. I have no idea what I'm doing. Help? I'm 18, by the way. Thanks. Okay, cool. There's some narrative here. That's good. So even if the background isn't really executed that well, you can get away with this. Yeah, I would suggest you look up a reference for a background next time. You don't need to know how to do everything from imagination like this. You know how to do one point perspective. That's good. Delete these houses in the back and redo them. Don't use circles for windows unless it's supposed to be out of focus, but it doesn't look that way, so use squares for windows, please. I like that you did a sort of a lighting setup here too that blends the characters into the background. That's what you should do. Use a reference next time for the BG and you'll be fine. Cutting myself with edge is my life goal. Hey Chell, pretty cool if you're looking at this. I'm Karu and I'm 18. I'd like to get an advice from you on background and the sky as I never seem to get them quite right, especially the sky. Thanks. Hey, that's cool. It looks like a thing made out of a bunch of PNGs, a very gamer. Oh, now I see there is a sort of a silhouette of some sort of snake in the background. That's dope. The sky seems fine to me. It works for this stormy, mysterious looking atmosphere. What I would change instead is the silhouette of these trees is completely white. I would just make it a bit lighter than the front ones here. And that would also make the silhouette of that creature in the back a bit more visible. Hi, I'm 15 and new to digital art. I'm trying to work on realism. And how does hair even work? I used the photo reference of Zolita because I'm not very comfortable without references yet. This one is like way better than my first attempt, JS. It's by Limpid Legicide. I've stopped saying people's names. I forgot. Sorry if I didn't mention your name and I critiqued your art. I'd like to see the original photo. Maybe I'll reverse image search this and I'll see if I can find it. Girl. A girl is a female human from birth throughout childhood. How I would start off is by doing this dark area here that casts shadow from the head. Then I would just do the general shape of the thing, then go over it with some of those strands like this. Just start out with big shapes and then work your way into the smaller. Now I'm putting some darks between these strands. A lot of people tend to try to draw individual hairs right away, but that's not what you should really do. You should focus on the big picture first and then work your way down to the details. Now I'm just adding in those details. I completely ignored this dark area up here and here. That's how you hair. That is how you hear. Warm by BrushBox. Howdy, hey, you asked us to include age in this, so I'm 16. And the thing I'm looking for critique on is, I guess, a shading. I don't consider it one of my strong suits, though I've been told I'm good at it. I just half-ass it most of the time and I'm terrible with light sources. You understand how they work and all the theory behind it, I'm just that bad at putting it into place, so any advice you could give would be wonderful. Also, the facial expressions in this are super awkward, so help with that would be nice too, but it's not necessary if you don't think I need it. The facial expressions are okay. They're just lines and circles. What are these, minions? You have a light source coming in from the left, so basically put everything that isn't facing this direction into the shadows. All you gotta do is think about the shape of the object you're drawing. These are very, very simple shapes, so they're easy to shade like this. Or you could simply do the opposite and just make a new highlight layer, or you can do both at the same time. You already seem to have done everything I said, but just on really low contrast, so just be more outgoing with that. Even if you don't get the forms completely right, it will still look more expressive. Toast me art, please. Hello there, Charles. I am Rex, a 15-year-old YouTuber with the hopes of getting my art toasted by the most mimimi YouTuber of all time, Charles. Lol. Okay, that was weird. Anyways, here's my recent art, which is my OC's alter ego. I know I'm not very good at that, but this is the best I can. This is like one of those terrible pony creator OCs that people had. Like, you could just go on the pony creator thing and click randomize, and this is what would come out. Roasted. Cool and Good by Super Peach. Hi there. Here's one of my most recent art thingies. I'm 15 years old and looking for tips on how to make my poses and such more natural, I guess. General criticism helps too. Thanks, love your videos, Chala. Thank you for watching my videos. First thing I see is that her hand is on the box thing, but is she supposed to be leaning on it or just holding it there? Because if you want it to be more natural, then you need to make her be tilted this way. Otherwise, it looks like she's just casually holding her hand on top of the thing. I like the piece otherwise, though. The colors are cool and stuff. The good and the spicy. Hey, I'm 14. Please critique the anatomy. I don't understand what's going on here. Whose hand is this? Whose hand is this? Roasted. Open critique for Charles, age 19, also mentioning that I'm an art student. Here's my OC art for March. What else should I improve on? Not all my works are perfect, of course, but this is one of the recent ones and I'm proud of it. Okay, it's very cool. I like that. It's very stylish. It's cool. The composition is quite nice. I'm not sure if I like the flatness of the clothing and the hair, but I guess it works. Perhaps get rid of the outlines of these hands here. They look a bit overly sketchy. I think they would fit into the piece a bit better overall if they were rendered to the same degree as the face here. But yeah, I like the piece overall. Coolio, very nice. Here's the cryptid.
What up? I'm 16 and I didn't spend much time on this drawing. Just to roast this or give advice.
I can't even see anything. All I can see is this bright gradient down here. I guess it's trying to be a light source coming from the bottom, but it doesn't even affect the character at all. Delete this. Roasted. What is this thing called anatomy? My drawings don't know it. I'm a 16 years old German and this is my drawing Tony Mahfood. I really need some advice on how to draw half closed eyes without making him look like a sneaky Asian. I'm only fine with typical Mark really like huge ass eyes, but seriously no clue about drawing eyes from angles / closed / half closed whatever. Please help. Did you take a photo of your screen or is this supposed to look like this? The eyebrow is way too close to the actual eye, so you should increase the distance between the two and make the eyelid more visible. I'm really exhausted. I can't really give good advice right now because I've been doing this for hours now and I'm dying. So that was it for this episode. I can change the background to not be minions anymore, or oh wait, I can share my theme. I'm gonna put this in the description, so guys, if you want this theme you can get it. And yeah, the email is still roastmyart@gmail.com. This is not an art promotion show. Don't self-promote. I won't read it out loud. I'm gonna work on this piece now if y'all don't mind. I'm gonna give him a soul patch. I'm gonna delete the rest of the beard. This is a great way to unwind from the episode, man. Guys, buy my merch. I'm poor. Check this out. You know you want it. Link in description or right here on the screen somewhere. Or simply buy me a coffee. Link in description.